What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. We have an awesome video for you today. Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 metal, but this time it's in 40 caliber. 40 Smith & Wesson, that is. Now, you might be very familiar with the Smith & Wesson M&P 1.0 or the 2.0, but here for you today is what I thought should have been the 3.0, but it's not. It's the 2.0 metal. A lot of you might have seen the 2.0 in 9mm, and I had said in a previous video before, they really need to make this in 40 and 45, but they did come out with a 40, which is awesome. Not a 45 yet. I don't know if they will, but I'm happy that they did the 40 Smith & Wesson. I typically carry a Smith & Wesson M&P 1.0 in 40 Smith & Wesson or 357 SIG. I also carry the 2.0s, but not that often, and we'll get to why later. But we see so much saturation of 9mm, 9mm, 9mm that thank God they did this in 40 Smith & Wesson. Now, we'll still be saying thank God, hopefully after the video, when we run this plethora of ammunition, magazines, and all this stuff through this gun. Hopefully it does handle that. M&Ps are notoriously reliable in my opinion. Now the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10mm, we had some severe problems with that firearm. I don't own it anymore. I think that one is totally unreliable. It doesn't even fit in the M&P series or lineup with its unreliability. However, the 40 should be a no-brainer or an easy peasy type of thing for these guys to do. The 9mm is very good. I know a couple people that own it, and they're very high volume shooters. The guns hold up. They love the accuracy. They love the stock triggers. They're very happy with the M&P 2.0 metal 9mm. I would really be, man, I'd be really disappointed if they can't get the 40 right. So what we're going to do today is go through a whole bunch of ammo. Like I said, I have 5 different types of magazines, 10 different magazines total, and altogether 10 different types of ammo, 8 of them being factory loadings. We have a few different types of full metal jacket and a bunch of defensive loads. We have Underwood, we have Federal, we have the low velocity, high velocity, low grain weight, high grain weight. We're going to try to run as many different things through this gun, including random hand loads and a staggered stack magazine that's just loaded up with 2 of all this stuff. We're going to put a few of these ammos on paper for accuracy, and we're also going to beat this plate silly. And no promises, because it doesn't always behave, but we'll try to get you some chronograph readings while we're at it. But first, before any of that, we got to do the tabletop. Let me show you this gun. So please forgive the screwy lighting that we always have on this range, but here we have a Smith & Wesson Gen 1 40 caliber. You're going to notice that the serrations here are going to be a little bit different from the ones we'll show you in the future, and you're going to notice that this is a smoother texture from the ones that we're going to show you in the future. I do think that the triggers on these older ones were okay. All the other controls are pretty normal. I don't have any actual external safeties on these particular guns. I do keep them on the shields, but not the full size. So this gun here does have a tang or backstrap extended beaver tail, whatever you want to call that. I do like that in these guns. They've deleted that from the future models. You'll notice that all 3 generations that I'm going to show you here, they will take the same magazines, so that is awesome. They do all have a rail here, and they all have 3-dot white sights. This one in particular is night sights because it's a police trade-in, but they come from the factory with very nice 3-dot white, just bright white. Moving on to the 2.0, this one being a 45 caliber, 45 ACP is awesome for these guns. It handles it really well, but you'll notice the texture is a little bit rougher here on the 2.0 series. I do like it. It's just weird for concealed carry if it's going to be right up against your body. Like I said, takes the same magazines, and you'll notice that they added some serrations here to the front of the slide. Not a whole lot, but enough to get the tips of your fingers in. Still have a rail in there, but they've added their serial numbers over here on the side indented, and then they went ahead and put a QR code on there that's indented instead of where it was over here on the previous model. They say that they've upgraded the trigger, and I guess they kind of have over the previous model. Not a huge difference, still acceptable to me. I always keep them factory. All right, moving on to what I call the 3.0, but they call the 2.0 metal. You're going to notice there are more serrations up here so we can get a better purchase up front. You're going to notice that this slide release is actually a little bit more extended out. They've changed around how they do their serial numbers and QR codes. The frame itself is now some sort of a metal alloy. It's no longer polymer. Of course, we have some sort of a Cerakote job on here to make it gray. I think we've gotten even more aggressive with this grip texture, unless I've just worn down my 2.0 enough, but pretty aggressive up here, which is not that bad. That's really good for controlling a pistol. We still have the interchangeable back straps. I have the larger one on here right now. I think it's the medium large to get this little bit of a tang up here. But remember, they've deleted that 2.0, on the 2.0s, they've deleted this back tang back here that I really like. You get a master grip with it. I don't know why they've taken it off, but oh well, they did. They've changed around the sights a little bit, so now they're still 3-dot white sights, but now they have anti-glare serrations on them, and now they're pyramid instead of straight up. In this new generation, this metal, they have optics-ready cuts. They have definitely upgraded the trigger to something totally different now. But once again, awesomely, they still take the old generation magazines. I'm glad that we never changed that, because once you start collecting magazines, you can get a good pile of them. Flipping it over, not much different on this side. This is a reversible magazine release from what I understand. I've never tried to do it. Our takedown lever is right here. These are very simple to disassemble and clean. And other than that, not really much else has changed. I did notice right now, though, there is something different on this one, and there's an over-travel stop behind the trigger. So lining up the 1.0, the 2.0, and the metal, you can see the subtle differences. You see the drastic difference in the frame, but overall, the gun itself doesn't have too many drastic differences. Other than that, it's a 15-round plus one gun. It's got a 4.25-inch barrel. And it's a striker-fired polymer wonder that's now metal. Now, one of the big things we're going to be testing about this gun, though, since they've changed things around just enough, is reliability. The reason I carry these guns all the time up here, and I've trusted my life with these for many, many years, is absolute reliability. And in the Shield series, too, the small ones. Really, never, ever any hiccups. These guns have gone to class. I've shot them over and over again. They're just awesome. I am really hoping that this one's going to be just as awesome. I'm hard on Smith & Wesson sometimes. This is going to be an honest, no BS review like you guys always get out of us. This is going to be an extensive review, but definitely we're going to go for reliability testing. I can't even get out of my mouth. I'm so scared right now. I really want this to work out. This will definitely be a personal gun for me that I want to be able to trust. With that said, let me show you what we're going to be putting it through today. I am not going to go easy on this gun. Now, I did clean and oil it out of the box like I was supposed to do. All right, there you go. There's the proof of that. As far as ammunition, we're going to start out with MagTech, 180 grain range ammo, full metal jacket, flat point, of course. That's where we're going to test both of the 15-round magazines that it ships with out of the factory. Those are brand new mags. They've never had anything run through them. We're going to make sure that they at least ship it with proper mags. Then we're going to borrow something out of the folding pistol carbine from Smith & Wesson that we just reviewed the other day, and that's a 20-round mag. We do have to slip off this little insert to make it fit properly. So that's a lot of ammo right there, but we're going to repeat the same thing over here with the Lawman. This time it'll be two older mags that I've had, police trade-in mags that you can find very cheaply, and then the other mag out of the FPC. We're going to switch up magazines again and go to Pro Mag, which I don't really like these magazines. Somehow I acquired them, but we'll go ahead and run them. We're going to run them with critical duty, which is a very good ammunition in my opinion. Some people don't like it, but in 40 caliber, it actually whoops butt. 45 too. All of them, but definitely a good ammo, and it would be used in a law enforcement or a duty situation. I mean, it's critical duty. So in this gun in particular, it's a perfect fit. I would hope it runs that ammo. If we have problems, we'll switch out magazines, but I don't foresee any. Then I have an interesting one loaded up here. I'm just going to run a bunch of different ammos. I'm going to run 2, 2, 2, and 2 until we get to 15 or 16. And then I have an actual Smith & Wesson magazine, but it's a 10-round magazine, and I'm just going to run random reloads through there. I've picked a couple here, couple there. I don't know what they're loaded up with. Actually, it's just stuff in, like I said, the random pile. So random reloads through a 10-round magazine. This is the stack of ammo we're going to run through that other magazine with the 2, 2, 2, and 2. On top of the full metal jackets, we have some Barnes, we have some Underwood XTP, some Extreme Penetrators, I think, some Federal Punch, and some Federal Hydroshock. Tabletop done, testing explained, let's get to shooting. All right, very first shots, we have the MagTech 180 grain full metal jacket flat point. Let me go ahead and see if that thing will load upon smacking it. Nope, it's got a good lock on it. All right, first one should be in the chamber. Yep, I'm going for the steel for a few shots to warm it up. Oh man, that thing shoots like a baby. Holy crap, and that's a nice trigger. My glasses are fogging up, so I can't see that well. But we need them for steel. Wow, that thing shoots very soft, very nice. And I'm not catching my shots here. I'm not reading them. So we got 894. We got 940. I'll throw the string up. 962. And hopefully I saved myself enough for accuracy. Yep, I think I got 5 on there. All right, we're about 21 feet off of that B8 right there. I'm going to go for the top one. I'm shooting a little high, I think. Now, I have bad lighting right now. I will tell you that. Got to give you some kind of excuse. I don't even know how many I've shot. But we'll get back on steel here real quick. And now we're out. Let's go take a look at that target real quick. Not the best group for me, but like I said, my lighting does kind of suck right now. I got to get used to the gun a little bit, and it could be the ammo, me, whatever. It is freezing cold, but at least we're in the black. All right, so she ran them all. Brand new magazine out. Brand new magazine 2 in. And she ran them again. Longer one. And ran them all. Awesome. All right, next up is Spear Lawman 165 grain with a used magazine. Let's see, we got 1167.4. Is that true? 1142.1. This feels boomier, but it doesn't feel bad at all. The recoil is just a little bit more than the MagTech, but yeah, still feels pretty darn good. And we have 1161.5. Let's go do some accuracy. Middle B8 target. Not too bad on that one, I don't think. Ran them all. Let's take a look. I'm coming over here high and bright, so we're definitely going to have to check this out in the morning with a different sun, but at least I'm grouping. And with the exception of a few overexcited ones here, we're keeping within the general area. Used magazine number 2. It ran them. And let me get that annoying thing out of there. Safe direction. I'm kind of throwing away a lot of shooting skills right now to just go ahead and run them and see if it does it, but it sure does. And don't worry, I will show you the trigger soon, but first we got to keep this thing going. We got Critical Duty 175 grain Flex Lock. That is the Pro Mag number, I better start with number 1. Keep it in order. Pro Mag number 1. And ooh, that fits in there. Ooh, that fits in there really tightly. That feels strange. Okay, so that magazine fits very tight. The other Pro Mag doesn't, so maybe there is something going on with the feed lips here. I don't know, that's really weird. So this one fits tight, but we're gonna do it anyway. Gosh, that's absolutely strange. I better stay here. I almost forgot we have to do chronograph testing. So 175 grain going at 992.5. 961.1. Sorry, I got excited. 965.7. 968.3. And 974, 970.4. Let's go do some accuracy. And I know I'm not on a bench press, but that's okay. We're talking about practical defensive accuracy. Just your average shooter on your average day. Just getting used to this gun. Still going over to the right a little bit. I can't really see my sights, like I said, so the left and right thing is different for me right now. Got to get out here in the better sun. That was high and right. All right, let's go take a look. Well, at least I'm still grouping decently. I just have to get on actual bullseye. That wasn't a bad group up here for that one either. This one was a little bit wider, but those were also first ammo, first magazine really through the gun. not too bad. I definitely have to revisit this in some better light. And yes, even though I don't use them very often, they are good for accuracy testing, bullseye shooting. I will be putting a red dot on here, so stay tuned for that. All right, and I'm noticing right now that my back sight is not exactly where it's supposed to be, so I do need to drift that a little bit. That might make some corrections, and I'll have to take a look at the front sight too. And despite that first Pro Mag not fitting well, it's still fed. This one fits like normal. And it ran them. All right, I've got magazine number 3 in there. We're going to go over the chronograph. This is the mixture, so I'll have up on screen which round for which shots. .976.1, that was the hand load. Ooh, whatever that was, it was stout. 1293.1. 1268.8. 954.1. 947.3. 1148.4. 1125.9. 939.4. It had to think about that one for a second. 963.4. 1271.1. That's pretty stout, whatever that was. 1283.7. That's pretty light. 986.8. 1005 or 1005.4. Wow, that's really stout. 1141.1. Yeah, for sure that's stout. 1141.0. That's really good. For that ammo to be that close to itself, that's awesome. It ran them. Very cool. All right, and the last one to go is my hand load. So anything that happens with this, you can't blame the gun. You got to blame my hand loads. These are out of the random basket, so God only knows these things might not even have chamber checked. But I have the limited capacity magazine here, the little 10-rounder for whatever state makes you do that. Definitely smoky. I have no idea what powders I used, but it ran them. So sorry I got a little bit sloppy, but I'm pretty sure we did keep every single round on steel or on paper back there. I almost missed right here over the shoulder. But take a look down there at the spalling effect we have. I always think this is fun in the wintertime. All those different shattered bullets do what they do. You can see next to the backstop, there's almost a trench being dug. Very cool, very cool stuff, but it does show you how very dangerous spalling can be. So always be safe on the range. All right, we're inside now because we totally ran out of daylight, but that was awesome. That's more than 150 rounds, totally flawless through this gun, all types of ammunition, 5 different types of magazines, 10 different magazines total. Absolutely fantastic. This is what Smith & Wesson is supposed to do. This is what the M&P series is supposed to be all about. Good job, Smith & Wesson. You got this one right. I'm going to continue to shoot the crap out of this gun. I'll be shooting it plenty on camera for you, but I'll keep track of round count. And I'll take it to classes. It's going to be a personal gun for sure. I do like it. It feels good. It handles all those ammunitions well, even the hot stuff. Let me show you the trigger real quick because I keep forgetting. All right, as far as this trigger, we have kind of a blade safety thing going on here, but it also starts the action of the trigger pull itself. They don't happen independently. They happen simultaneously. You kind of feel that going through a little bit. There's a slight, I would say it's a little bit gritty at the moment. So there's all that play. Sorry, I'll quit messing with it. But you take it up to right there. There is a wall, a tiny little bit of creep, and then you have to press a little bit and you get through it. The reset is right there. It pushes your finger just a little bit. Tiny little push and you're back into it. I'll do it from the very beginning again. You get through that blade and the initial single or first stage. You have a little bit of a grindy creep. And then you push a little bit, it goes. You have a reasonable reset, a little bit of take up, a little bit of push, and then bang again. I didn't experience any type of discomfort when it came to the hotter rounds in the trigger. Some guns can kind of slap you a little bit, more so with rifles, but still, some of the pistols with really hot 10mm, they can smack your finger a little bit. It did not do it with this one. We did not check to see if this gun is limp wrist proof, but we will do that very soon in the future because it's very important. We will have a video with a red dot on this gun because I definitely want to dial in the accuracy. I'll be using a Holosun 407C like I use on this 10mm Springfield XDM Elite. And as far as the optics, I'll probably have a heck of a time because I don't understand how to mount them usually. But just to show you what they do send, there's a whole bunch of different shims and whatever you call these plates. Now, they are plastic. I will say that. They're pretty bendy plastic. I don't know if that's good or bad. There's an assortment of different screws. I know sometimes in some guns, those tend to shear off, but I'll get it figured out. We'll get it put together. If it's anything like my other M&Ps with the stock triggers even, they'll be awesome. Accuracy is very good with those guns. They've never let me down. I'll start playing around on camera with this one. We can do 100-yard shots with this gun, I'm sure, no problem. I can do it with my 45, and that's a big old arc to that bullet sometimes. But yeah, these things are very accurate out of the box. I'm assuming this one is, but we have to test it. Overall, I was really hesitant to buy into the 2.0 metal thing at all. Like I said, a couple of my friends have them, and I just didn't want to buy a 9mm that was quite expensive. I mean, these things are not cheap compared to the normal polymer ones, but I think it might actually be worth it in the end. You do get a pretty nice gun. It's optics ready and all that other stuff. So sometimes you just have to pay. But I didn't want to buy it in 9mm. I really wanted it in 40 or 45. Now, a lot of you that are watching this video are fans of 40 caliber, but some of you might be saying, why 40 caliber? Well, for just a little bit of reduction in capacity, but a big increase in power overall, in my opinion, you get a pretty nice handgun that's very shootable. Some people say they're snappy. I disagree. The good thing about 40 Smith & Wesson is you can load it down if you hand load, or you can just buy loads that aren't super powerful for defense or practice, or you can buy some smoking hot stuff. If you're a hand loader, you know that you can take 40 Smith & Wesson almost right up there, if not to 10mm levels. You can also do barrel swaps very easily, very cheaply. You can actually turn this into a 9mm if you want. And on top of that, you can turn this into a 357 SIG. How cool is that? The magazines are actually marked 40 caliber / 357 SIG. And that's because of the Gen 1 series that they used to make like that. It'd be cool if they did it again, but we'll take this for now. So I'm glad that they made it. I do think they did a good job. I'm happy with my purchase now that we just did the initial testing, and it was totally flawless. Stay tuned for much more testing. I'm not going to do abusive testing because this will be my personal gun, but I will do testing. Look forward to some gel testing. I'll get back into the 40 Smith & Wesson stuff. We'll compare it to a shield in 40 caliber so you get the two different barrel lengths. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching this video, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.